Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. As we approach the 24th anniversary of 9/11, attention naturally turns back to Ground Zero in New York. But beyond remembrance, there's actually a pretty significant debate brewing. It's about who should control the 9/11 Memorial and Museum. Should it be federal authorities, or should it remain under local New York leadership? So today we're going to dig into the sources, try to unpack why this discussion is happening right now, and really explore the different perspectives, both national and, well, deeply personal, on this incredibly significant site. Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. Currently, the whole World Trade Center campus, the land itself, is owned by the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. You know, that big bi-state agency handling transport and commerce stuff in the region. And the memorial and museum that sits on that land, well, that's run by a private nonprofit. It's called the National September 11 Memorial and Museum. Its board chair is Michael R. Bloomberg.
Right. And what's kind of fascinating here is that the Trump administration, with Donald Trump as the current president, has actually floated the idea of bringing the site under federal control. This seems to be coming up as national leaders are increasingly seeing Ground Zero as this powerful, unifying symbol, something that, maybe warrants a more formal national designation, especially as we mark these anniversaries.
Okay, so what's the thinking behind that? What are the arguments for a federal shift?
Well, proponents often talk about symbolism first. Elevating Ground Zero officially as a national site for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's this idea of uniform standards. The argument is that federal control could ensure consistent preservation, consistent education, archival practices, maybe not just at Ground Zero, but potentially linking it with the Pentagon and Flight 93 sites, too.
Yeah, kind of standardizing the approach.
Exactly. And for some, there's also an element of potential reform, addressing criticisms that have sometimes surfaced about, say, the nonprofit's finances or how it's governed. And this raises a really important question for you listening. What would federal control actually mean in practice? Because it's not really a single defined thing. Mm-hmm. There are options. You could have, for example, a full National Park Service unit, an NPS unit. That would mean it's fully managed by the federal government, just like, say, Yellowstone or the Flight 93 National Memorial in Pennsylvania.
Right, like a national park.
Or it could be something different, maybe a cooperative model or what they call an affiliated area. Think of the Oklahoma City National Memorial. That keeps its local ownership, but it gets federal support, like help with interpretation, technical advice, that sort of thing.
So different levels of involvement possible.
Absolutely. And realistically, a change this big, it would almost certainly need Congress to act. Probably not something achievable just through a presidential proclamation.
Okay, but as you can probably guess, this idea isn't exactly getting a warm welcome everywhere. New York leaders, well, we're pushing back pretty hard.
Understandably, yeah.
For many New Yorkers, Ground Zero isn't just a national symbol. It's viewed almost like a neighborhood cemetery. It's sacred ground. It's a living memory. And you have to remember, families, survivors, first responders, they were absolutely central in shaping the rituals there. Things like the annual reading of the names, the tribute in light, that all grew out of local leadership, private fundraising.
Mm-hmm. Deeply personal efforts.
Exactly. And their fear is that federal control could risk, well, politicizing how the history is told. Or maybe muting the voices of those who are closest to the loss, kind of diluting that raw personal grief from the immediate aftermath.
And if we sort of step back and look at the bigger picture here, this really throws a spotlight on that fundamental tension, doesn't it, between national pride and local pride.
Yeah, it really does.
National pride looks at 9/11 as this pivotal American story, connecting the three sites, New York, the Pentagon, Shanksville. And from that perspective, maybe federal oversight offers better standardization for security, for preservation, for reaching a national audience through education.
But then the local pride argument.
Exactly. Local pride insists that the real texture of remembrance, the resilience, it grew specifically out of New York, and that it belongs, fundamentally, in local hands. So the real design challenge here is finding a model, if any change happens, that honors the national significance and permanence, while still protecting that essential local voice that makes the story so profoundly human.
And, it's important we also acknowledge the potential upsides that federal involvement could bring. Things like maybe steadier, more predictable funding.
Right. That's often a challenge for nonprofits.
And access to the National Park Service's expertise in conservation, in archives, that's invaluable. Plus, potentially integrating the site into nationwide educational programs, reaching even more people, especially younger generations.
True. There are potential benefits to weigh.
Ultimately, whatever happens, the goal has to be deepening the truth, upholding the dignity of the site, and ensuring access for everyone. It shouldn't become about politicizing the story or diminishing its impact. This really isn't or shouldn't be a zero-sum fight about identity. It's about finding the most thoughtful, respectful way to care for this place. Stewardship.
Well said.
So if you found this deep dive valuable, we'd really appreciate it if you'd consider subscribing to our channel and liking this video. It genuinely helps support our work. As that 24th anniversary gets closer, keeping national pride and memory alive is clearly very important. But it feels equally vital to keep respecting the voices, the experiences, the memories of those who lived through it right there locally. Thanks so much for being with us today, and I'll be waiting for you in that video.